Page 57, The Professor's Wacky Invention. Around town the very next day. Professor Tuesday was so excited that he skipped and jumped around like a little kid. He got that way whenever he had an idea for a new invention, and this would be the best and baddest one yet. It was all very exciting. The professor put on a light jacket, grabbed his list and shopping bag, and headed out the door. There was a great hobby store a few blocks from his office, and it was a wonderful day for a walk. The smell of newly mown grass and spring flowers tickled his nose. Professor Tuesday strolled down the sidewalk, careful not to step on any cracks. He didn't want any bad luck causing a problem with his invention. The clerk at the hobby shop was very knowledgeable about radio-controlled monster trucks. She had lots of different models to look at. The professor explained that he needed one that was not too large and not too small. It had to have big, knobby tires and a powerful battery. He also wanted it to run very quietly. The hobby shop had just the one he wanted. Before long, the professor left with the most radical RC monster truck of all time. It was sleek and powerful, and it had a shocking paint job with purple, yellow, and bright green colors. Professor Tuesday checked the first item off his shopping list. Professor Tuesday was so excited about his monster truck that he wanted to rip open the box and play with it on the street. But he had more shopping to do. The electronics store was 2 blocks away. He practically ran to his next stop. Once at the electronics store, he went right to the computer section. The professor recognized one of the store employees from his history class at the university. The young man followed him as he shopped. The first thing on the list was a special kind of webcam, one that you could control remotely, like the monster truck itself. The college student showed him exactly the right one. The professor also picked up a wireless microphone and a small speaker. Next door to the computer store was the hardware. Professor Tuesday stopped and picked up some wire mesh called hardware cloth and some other small items. Now he was ready to get to work. The professor skipped and whistled a happy tune as he carried his shopping bags back to the office. He could hardly wait to get started building his invention. Once in his office, he opened all of his packages and sat on the floor looking at the stuff he had purchased. After Professor Tuesday had assembled everything, he played with his monster truck for a while, making sounds as he drove it around the floor in his office. Then he popped open his cell phone and called his friend in the university's biology department, Professor Brown. Professor Brown answered on the first ring. "Hello, Professor Brown. This is Professor Hickmore P. Tuesday in the history department." The professor walked around his office as he talked on his cell. "I'm fine, thank you. And you?" "Great, great. Do you still have that wonderful collection of animal skins in the biology department?" "Wonderful. May I stop by and look at them? I may want to borrow one for an invention I'm trying to finish." "Thank you. I'll come over in a few minutes." Professor Tuesday closed his cell phone, picked up his new monster truck, and headed out the door for Professor Brown's office. He was so excited that he sprinted through the hallway, slid down the stairwell, scooted through the giant doors, and ran out in the sunshine. He got to the biology building in no time flat. When Professor Tuesday burst through the doors of the biology laboratory, his friend was shocked to see him. "That was fast," said Professor Brown. "This must be quite some invention you're working on, Professor. How can I help you?" Professor Tuesday held up his monster truck. "Can you help me find a skin from a common North American animal that can disguise this? I'm helping some young students learn about the Underground Railroad. Because of the danger involved with this study, I put a video camera, a microphone, and a small speaker in this monster truck. I can send it back in time through my Tuesday teleporter, and we can watch history unfold from the safety of my office. But I can't have a hot monster truck with a rad paint job showing up in the mid-1800s now, can I?" "Heavens, no," replied Professor Brown with a laugh in his voice. "That would never do." The biology professor thought for a moment. Suddenly an idea popped into his head and his eyes widened. "Hickmore, I think I've got just the thing you're looking for. Wait right here. I'll get it for you." Only Professor Tuesday's closest friends call him by his first name, Hickmore, and Professor Brown happened to be Professor Tuesday's BFF. Professor Brown turned and walked to the back of his laboratory. He rattled around for a while, then returned with an animal skin. When Professor Tuesday saw what his friend had chosen, he laughed out loud. He covered his mouth as he kept on laughing. His friend laughed too. "This is exactly what you should have for your invention. Look," said Professor Brown. "It will fit perfectly." The biology professor placed the hide over the monster truck. He was right. It was a perfect fit for the invention. Professor Tuesday couldn't stop laughing at it when he looked. "Thanks, Professor Brown," he said as he picked up his things. I'll let you know how my invention works." Professor Tuesday walked back to his office. Every time he looked down at the animal skin, he started chuckling again.